Welcome back to The Verdict. Now on the show today, we're taking a look at INEC's action plan for the next couple of days until the elections come upon us. And let me start with you, Dr. Adesina, over there in Abuja. Well, you saw the postponement, and then you've seen the plans that were reeled out by INEC. What do you think of the level of implementation so far? As everyone had been saying, we want you to give daily briefings. Now the briefings are daily. So what do you think? Have they made progress?
Well, thank you very much. I think the best we can do now in Nigeria is to give INEC the best of support that we can give it. INEC needs everybody in Nigeria. The time for despondency, I think, should be over. The criticism should also be stepped down. The truth is that, like it has been pointed out earlier, this country is vast, and we need a confident INEC, an impartial body, to do that which will please the entire Nigerian people. The daily briefing has been very good, and people are given opportunity to ask questions. And this is the right time for people to make suggestions to INEC. Whatever they have not been able to do, direct their attention to it. INEC too must not wait till the last minute before they begin to put their acts together. Every single moment is very, very significant between now and Saturday. The truth is that INEC has no choice than to succeed on Saturday. Thank you very much.
Well, that's true. Well, he did also talk about the fact that, you know, the smart card readers have begun to be configured, and he said 95% so far of that rate. So then should we expect a smooth process in terms of data capturing or data processing? Should there not be any excuse at any polling unit to say, oh, the smart card reader is malfunctioning, since we now know that they've achieved 95% progress so far?
I can't get the question.
Okay, the question is, do you think it will be easy at the polling units?
Can you come back again?
Yes.
Come back again.
Okay, and what I'm saying is, do you think that now that the INEC chairman has told us that they have achieved 95% progress with reconfiguring the smart card readers, so then should we expect at the polls to have a smooth, you know, passage in terms of processing data and all that? We shouldn't have any issue of, oh, the smart card reader is giving problems.
Naturally, Nigerians must take the INEC chairman by his words. There is no opportunity to doubt anymore. We must take him by his words. We must believe that he means every single word that he is saying. So the equipments must work. The officers must get there at the right time. The materials must be available. There can be no opportunity for complaints anymore, because this is like the last chance. There must be no reason for any postponement, even by 1 hour, as that will dampen the spirit of everybody. The whole world is focusing on Nigeria now for the past few days. And you yourself will confirm that this election has taken the central stage of both our public and our private lives. So all eyes are on INEC and the INEC chairman. He cannot afford to fail, and he must not fail. The thing must work 100%, not even 95. It must work 100%.
All right, thank you, Mr. Adesina. Coming back to Lagos and Dr. Afolabi. Now, I'm interested in knowing from an observer viewpoint. We've talked about postponement. That's happened. Now, moving forward. From what you observed in the run-up to the postponement, what needs to be done quickly now? Someone, one of those who tweeted and talked about the fact that the observers must go to the rural areas, the non-public areas, which is where sometimes some of the shenanigans go on. Now, do you think enough has happened in that regard? I know you referred earlier on to some other things, but do you think enough has happened in that regard to engender confidence that there will be proper observation at that level this time around, given the timetable we now have?
Well, because of what happened on Saturday, there are a lot of thoughts about what can we do better, moving forward. One of the clear things, and given what SAN was talking about the workability of the card readers and all of that, it's quite important that that works, because oftentimes it's always a problem of logistics, and when you get to a particular polling unit, you found out that the card reader is not working and all of that, and that could trigger some kind of discomfort, at the polling unit. Now, that's one issue. Now, there are other issues, the issue of transportation. And if you go back to what the INEC chair said when he was trying to explain on Saturday, some of the challenges that they had, he talked about the weather problem, which is about movement of sensitive materials. Right. So I expect that by now they should have taken cognizance of some of the important issues. The weather, we have meteorologists in this country. I assume also that because some of those materials are now, closer.
And remember, he said they had to resort to slow-moving vehicles.
Exactly. So I assume by now that we already have a projection when these sensitive materials will get to where they are supposed to be convenient, for them to be able to distribute them properly. So those kind of logistics are important now. And these are things that can be done internally. And that's the point. That's why we're raising the fact that it's important to allow INEC to concentrate. There's been a lot of allegations, from political parties, and these allegations are not helping. They are asking for a recall of some of the INEC top officials and all of that. That cannot help us now. What we need from INEC is to have a total concentration of how to make sure that whatever they are doing on Saturday, comes, clearly to make the election to be fair and credible.
And one of the other things that came up at the briefing was the issue of the IDPs. And you heard the INEC chairman say that, at least for Borno, for instance, the method that was used in 2015 should be used now, meaning they should vote within the camps. But as a monitor, is that what you see as you go around? Do you see that implemented in anywhere that there are displaced persons? Are they voting?
Well, they are. They voted in 2015. And for us also, as a transition monitoring group, we have observers in Borno, and some of the observers are also going to be, at the IDP camps to ensure that they see that things are done in the proper way. Yeah, in terms of sending monitors to reach places, we also know that if you look at Osun election, for example, some of the places where they had issues were places where it was difficult for people to reach. In Akara, some of those places, observers cannot even reach there. So we are also concentrating on those areas. We have identified some places that we also see as hotspots, some hard-to-reach places, like that was why I was talking about the creeks and some other places where we have to get monitors to go to. And we like for TMG, for example, we have monitors in the 774 local governments. So we're also interested in what happens to the vote itself, because what we are doing is to follow the vote. From where people have voted, to ensure that the votes are pasted, to ensure that they get to the ward level. And there are other civil society organizations that are working around this. I'm aware that the Nigerian Civil Situation Room is working on this. The CDD is working. So what we're also doing in our civil society is to ensure that we have some form of synergy, so that whatever we are doing on the side of TMG, we complement, what the Nigerian Situation Room is doing, what the CDD is doing, what Reclaim Nigeria is doing, particularly those observer groups with very huge number across the country, so that we can have a very credible. So we can also have something to go back on, to double check, right, the kind of results that we are getting, coming out from INEC.